My name's Nic Anderson, AKA Youngchickenpox, my Instagram handle. I run my brand Nevere Evern. I've been doing this for around like 1.5 years or something like that. It's crazy how time passed, but I've been just making clothes for myself like not all my life, but probably like 3 years. I've been just like tie-dyeing, sewing clothes for myself, and then once COVID hit, I was like, might as well start a brand. So then I just started posting all the random stuff I've been making. So that's just the backstory.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how old are you?
I'm 18.
Okay, same, bro. Same. We're young, man. We're super young.
Bro. I'm a late bloomer. My birthday's in August, so it's
same,
like
bro. What day's your birthday?
3rd.
Oh, August. I'm on August 20th.
Oh, okay. So you're even younger than me.
Yeah, man. I'm a baby.
Definitely, bro. So I want to talk about you because I feel like we haven't even talked before. Like, how long you've been doing this, like all this stuff. I know you said 6 months for the 3D editing.
Yeah.
You do way others, like a bunch of stuff, right?
Yeah. So, well, it's mainly 3D. But basically, last year I went to university in September. Went to go study biology. It was crap. Straight up, man. It was terrible. And so during that time, I was just like, what am I going to do with myself? You know, I don't enjoy doing this. And beforehand, like 6 months before that, I'd seen Diego, the owner of Vital Studios, make some really cool 3D stuff. And I was like, I want to try and maybe learn to do that. So then I decided I'm going to save up, use some money that I'd saved over from like life savings of birthdays and blah, blah, blah. And then my family helped me out as well. Bought a PC. And then from January onwards, just smashed the 3D stuff. Got to the point where, you know, I felt like it was the right thing to do for me to drop out. And so I was just like, sent an email to my school like, yo, I don't want to resume my studies anymore. Because originally I took a gap year. I said to them that I want to take a gap year. I'm going to be back. You know, I'm going to try and figure things out. But then I just sent them an email like, yo, I don't want to return anymore. I'm gone. Peace out. And then that was just such an amazing feeling because the weight of university was completely off me and I was just free to do whatever I want. So now I mainly do the 3D visuals, worked on all sorts of different cool projects. That's kind of my main way of making an income and meeting people. Like I'll just hit them up and be like, yo, can I make this for you? Can I make that for you? I've done quite a lot for different clothing brands. And met a lot of cool people. Yeah. I mean, networking is everything, you know?
Oh, I agree.
Being able to know people, and just because I know you now, I know all the people you know, and you know all the people I know, and
definitely
that's so valuable. And I never understood how valuable it was until I got to know more people, and now I get it. You know, you just
and it's crazy the opportunities that come from networking.
Yeah,
like I source all my like hoodies like for working with from Goodwill and like Goodwill bins and stuff like that. And before like talking to people there, I would have to find all the stuff on my own, you know, do all this stuff. But when I was at the bins, I remember one day I got really bored, so I was like, I'm gonna just talk to the people here and see what happens. And now they're like homies, you know, now they're my friends. And from that, they also like sell me like vintage blanks, like good vintage blanks for a good price. So I don't have to do all that searching and all that stuff. It's just like the little opportunities like that, you know?
Yeah. It's like that you wouldn't be able to do it alone.
Yeah, 100%. It's I 100% agree with that. But and also like other ways like talking, like you said, like meeting you, like talking to random people, like it's crazy what can come from that. Like I remember my friend Hunter Kinzu, he runs a brand. I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
I'm not sure.
But super talented person. He hit me up actually, like, and I remember talking for a bit, like just like, you know, casual conversation. Wasn't expecting to get anything out of it, but now he's like big homie. He's super smart. He's like worked with like same people like Diego, like all those people in back work, like making their website, stuff like that. So it's like, I'm not sure if he made their website, but he's just, you know, he does the backwork stuff, and he's taught me so many things. And I always thought like, what if I just never respond to that DM, you know? Like
your life would be completely different.
Yeah, like it's crazy. It's crazy how networking is. But yeah, it's crazy.
It is.
That's that.
It is.
But
that's why I started this podcast. Just a tool to be able to find cool people. Simple as that. And like, look us right now. Like, I'm doing that as we speak. You know?
Yeah. Wait, sorry, it froze for a second. Wait, what did you say?
But essentially, the podcast is just a tool. It's a tool for me to be able to find cool people. Like, you and I right now, we're developing a relationship, and everybody else that I've done a podcast with, I've developed some sort of relationship with, to the point where, like, I have people in my phone book or in my contact book where I'm like, if I need something or they need something, we know who to go to, and we have each other. It's yeah, I can't describe how important this podcast has been for you, man. It's been crazy.
100%, bro. Like, this is smart of you. Very smart of you, bro. Going back to more networking things, I want to talk about more examples. It's crazy because like people are like my t-shirt printing like manufacturer is my next door neighbor. Like he runs a factory, and I go to his factory and get a CBA on the process of it. And he's taught me so many things. My family friend from kindergarten, like she runs a pattern making business where she or manufacturing business where she like people send her patterns and she does all the sewing. And like recently this summer, like I just started working there and being around all these like industrial machines, like just seeing like all the backdrop, like the behind the the progress. Wait, I can't think of my words. Just seeing like the behind the scenes. That's what it is. Seeing the behind the scenes, like it's so many insights. And yeah, it would be like if I didn't work there, if I didn't have that friend, like I wouldn't know what would be going on. And yeah, it would just be, I would have to learn that on my own later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you have to learn everything on your own later. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Also, yeah, like even with sewing, like my mom, you know, I mean, it's not really networking, but you know, like it's the little things like that. But that's what I've been doing. And I've been meaning, because like I need to do 3D work. How was it like getting started with like 3D work? Was it hard?
I mean, it wasn't easy, you know? It wasn't like I didn't pick it up like, well, I did. No, that's a lie. I did kind of pick it up very quickly, but it's tough, and I put a lot of time into it. I followed this one tutorial. The first 3D thing on my page is the donut tutorial, which is literally just like you learn like a full course basically that's free on YouTube, completely free. This is crazy. That shows you the basics of modeling, the basics of texturing, everything you need to know about building a 3D scene and animating it. It shows you the basics of it. And so I spent like, I think a week and a half just doing that tutorial and, you know, fully understanding what was going on. So that instead of me just doing what he was doing and not understanding it, I like went and played around with the sliders and saw what sort of effects different things had, to the point where I understood and I actually could fathom what I was doing as opposed to just following along with somebody else. So that made it so much better for me in the future, because I was like, oh yeah, I know how to do that. Or I remember what this does. This does this. And then I just kept on doing like a couple more tutorials and a few more of my own things. And then I just threw myself in the deep end, started asking for 3D commissions, even though I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. And then just kind of learn. I learned because I had to learn. You know, I had to learn how to do something because my client was like, okay, one of my first clients was asking for an apocalyptic city. So I was like, well, I need to learn how to make an apocalyptic city and make a camera that flies through it. So then, you know, when you put yourself under that much pressure to the point where you have a deadline that you have to basically meet and you have somebody who's paying you to do it, like there's no other option. You're going to learn how to do it. So I think it's not easy and it's not something that everybody can do. But if you have the commitment, if you have a bit of computer knowledge already, and if you are willing to put a lot of time into something, and potentially get very underpaid, like I've done so much work for free and for, I wouldn't say pennies, but like it's not worked out as very much per hour. Like I don't mind saying this, but one of the jobs I did ended up being like $3 an hour. That's why I basically got paid for it, because I just did it so cheap to the point where they couldn't say no, you know?
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're saying. And it's one of the struggles of being like smaller, you know, like not like a no name or something, because until literally like this last job I had, I was paying myself like $6 an hour.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it wasn't like, I understood like I had to increase my price later, but I was fine with working at that low price because like at first it's all about getting exposure, like getting your work out there, having people see it, and then later you just slowly increase your price, you know. Or that was my way of looking at it. There's also the way of just like pricing your stuff how it is, you know. But I've seen a struggle with that because, you know, if you're starting a new business and you got stuff on your website for like 150, like for a hoodie or something, you know, it's like sure, it might be worth that in like maybe in your mind, but like, you know, you're a new brand. Why should they trust you? You know, why should they do all it, you know?
You have it spot on. You have it spot on. Like if a random person just came out of nowhere and was like, oh yeah, here's a t-shirt that I made from hand, you know, pay me $150 for it. You're going to be like, who do you think you are? You know?
Yeah. And that's why, like, I feel like people think that because, like, they see, like, maybe new brands, like, from, like, you know, like, Ian Connor, like, you know, Sicko, like, he prices stuff so high, like, it's crazy how high he prices it, but it's because he's a no-name already, so people already, like, you know, they're like, oh, that's the cool factor, you know?
He's built the brand of Ian Connor and Sicko to the point where you're paying for the brand.
Yeah, basically.
People don't get that.
No, 100%. People don't get that, but I mean that's why we do this podcast, right? Teaching people. Yeah, and like, no, yeah, because I remember when I first started off, like, bro, I was so clueless, and like I remember, it's crazy because you did the interview with Reno. I watched that interview. Like Reno, like when I was first starting off, he's like the person I would watch his YouTube videos all the time to learn like my mindset and stuff like that. So it's what is it? Yeah, I learned my mindset from him. So yeah, so like that's why like doing this interview was important to me because I've been watching you. I watched your interview with Pythia, you know, like I've been watching you, so now I'm happy to finally be here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, how did you because I remember you hit me up on Instagram, but how did you actually find me again? I can't remember. Was it just through the Reno interview?
It was, I remember I saw you once through the Reno interview, but I just like, you know, I thought I didn't really look at it. I was just watching for like the content.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Pythia interview, and then like I was like, he's a good talker. Like let me find his Instagram. let me try and like get this interview. I wasn't expecting you to, but you did, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem.
But yeah, so that's how I found you. And it's crazy how like the ladder of how it works, because I remember I found Reno Studios through YouTube. It popped up on my recommended page for one of his videos, and I remember he was on live, and I hopped in the live with him. I told him that, and he was like so surprised because it's like, but then that also taught me like how like going to different platforms to promote yourself is so important because like because you know you never know what you can get from it. He probably didn't expect anyone to find him from YouTube, you know. He probably expected like everyone from his Instagram to go to YouTube. So that's why like I remember I posted one of my tapestry hoodies on Reddit a while back, and didn't expect anything of it, but I was just like, you know, might as well post it, and I gained like 200 followers from that. It was like 1.3k upvotes or something, which in retrospect isn't a lot, but you know when you're like small, like
that's huge.
Yeah, it's a lot. But and that's the same reason why I moved to TikTok as well. And now technically TikTok's my biggest platform, but like I still see Instagram as like my main platform. But yeah, it's that's what I learned from that. Yeah. It's just a spiral of learning, but
yeah. Cuz the more places you have your stuff, the more ways people can find you. Like it sounds so stupid when you put it like that. Like obviously duh. But I think we oftentimes get so caught up in like trying to build one thing at once, and even though it's great to kind of focus on one thing, you have to kind of have your fingers in all sorts of different pies because not everybody's going to come from one place.
Oh no.
Yeah.
100%. And that's the same thing. It goes back to networking. I talk to random people. I'm a type of person just like talk to random people on the street, you know, like I'm walking down the street and I'm on my phone, but like I don't like being on my phone, so like maybe I'll be in line at the gas station, I'll talk to the person behind me or something like that. And it's crazy, like I remember I've gained followers, like I've gained fans like that, people who DM me to this day, like I've just from randomly talking to random people, you know.
I think people forget how important kindness is. Just being nice to somebody.
Facts, bro. Because it's all energy, you know. The energy you put out there, it's what you get back. I believe in karma. I'm not sure about you, but like I believe like if you're putting all good in the universe, all good will come back to you, and all negative stuff you put in the universe, it'll come back to you eventually in different forms. You know, like it's not gonna be in like you punch somebody, so someone's gonna punch you. You know, it's gonna be like you punch somebody, and then next thing you know, your drop doesn't do as well. I'm not sure. You know, like your business doesn't do as well, or maybe like you have an issue with a family member. So, you know, it's like that type of karma. But
yeah, I mean, going deeper on that, what would you say, if you don't mind me asking, what would you say are like your spiritual or like religious beliefs, or just when it comes to this energy sort of thing? How do you describe it?
I feel like, okay, that's a bold question. I haven't really thought about that, but it's just all positive, like just spreading positivity. That's the whole purpose. Like I feel like that's the purpose of us, is to be kind to each other, is to love each other. You know, that's why, like, you know, the clothes I make, like I try and make it more positive colors, like positive looking now, because it's like I just want to spread that positivity. And for religious beliefs, I'm not religious, but I feel like I do resonate most with Buddhism. Like my mom is Buddhism, my grandparents are Buddhism, my dad's side is Christian. It's weird how that works, you know. But I feel like I definitely resonate more with Buddhism, and just like the chi of like just like all good, you know, even no matter the bad you've done in the past, like you can still be good, you know, you can change, you know, become better, and we can all just be good people. But you know, I would say that's
I think
most of it.
I think everybody should learn about Buddhism. I've learned so much from Buddhism. Like I would not call myself a Buddhist, right?
Yeah.
But what Buddhism has taught me is huge. Like the whole, I don't know how much you know about Buddhism, but there's a lot to do with like dealing with suffering and dealing with bad things, and also about being positive and how to live a good life. And even though I might not 100% agree with everything that is said, I still find it really interesting to just be able to understand and take from somebody else's philosophy and take what works and shove it into my life, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I think everybody should take time to learn about everybody's kind of beliefs. I know this is going to sound super cliche and super PG and everything, but people should take time, not for the sake of other people, but actually for yourself. Like, you can take different teachings and different stories or metaphors or ways of life and fuse them together to be your own. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you fuse the religious beliefs themselves, but the practices in the everyday, or the way of thinking and the messages behind a lot of these religions or spiritual beliefs, they can be beneficial on a personal level. Because they've been beneficial to me.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that goes back just being open-minded.
Yeah.
Right. And then like also it's kind of, I feel, yeah, that's perfectly said. It's kind of like what I learned in economics when I took economics classes, because there's like neoclassical beliefs and classical beliefs, but the best way to look at or they have like each different ways to look at their situation. You know, they have their own beliefs about economics, but the best way to look at a situation is combining those two like thoughts.
Yeah.
Using open-minded like vision, like perspective to find a solution to something, or in your example, like philosophy, applying it to your life, maybe taking something that you found from Buddhism and having it change your life in a positive way, you know?
Yeah. So. Yeah. And I think the other thing is, when it comes to just, I'm going to go more of the spiritual and philosophical side, but when it comes to just issues that you have, right? When you have multiple ways of looking at it, so let's say you've researched Stoicism and Buddhism and Christianity and Islam, like, you can look from multiple different perspectives as opposed to just one. You have like multiple glasses that you can put on, and you can be like, oh, I didn't see it like this before, and now I do. And that's something so valuable, the ability to just be able to step back, distance yourself for a little bit just from your own personal beliefs, and look through different lenses at a problem more objectively than your own personal view of it. Because we tend to like tunnel vision ourselves, and we're like, this is the way things should be done because I've been taught that. Like, for example, even when it comes to something like sewing or making clothes or anything creative, we could think to ourselves like, this is how I've learned to do this, so this is what I'm going to do. But there's so many more possibilities, and there's so much more potential that could be reached if you just, instead of doing that, decided, for 1 minute, I'm just going to distance myself and look from the other perspectives, see what other people are doing, and see how that can affect me. Because that's how you build something original. You take a whole bunch of unoriginal ideas or unoriginal, things that you've seen in your environment, shove them together into an unoriginal, completely new combination of everything. And that's what people see as creativity. That's what people see as, I think, intelligence as well. Being able to have the ability to do that and wrap things up in your own ball and be like, yeah, this is my ball that I found because I've been so open-minded to everything else.
Definitely. No, that you're 100% correct. Because, like, I remember seeing something a while ago. It's literally like, you can't create a new idea. You can't create anything new in your head. It's the things that we see as new is like what you said. It's just a combination of things we see and like taking parts and little bits of things and combining it together.
Yeah.
So I 100% agree on that.
Yeah.
And earlier you were talking about like perspective, like looking at things from like distancing yourself, and that's what I've been doing about my clothing brand. Like, have you ever like took a step back from like your Instagram page and like tried to look at it from an outside perspective to see like what it's like,
Yeah.
Because I just recently did that like a week ago, and I was like, dang, I'm not doing that bad. You know what I'm saying? We cover ourselves in like self-doubt. I do that. I'm trying to get out of that. But one thing I was talking to my friend about was like, we compare our worst to another person's image and their best. You know what I'm saying? Because we know your negatives, like obviously like yourself, your negatives best. But when you look at another person's Instagram page, per se, like you see their image, so that's already their best, and then you look at the best of the best, and then you compare that, and it's just like not on an equal playing field. I'm not sure if you should. I mean, I feel like all creatives struggle with or creators struggle with comparing.
Well, for sure, man. I mean, it's really easy for you to just see somebody else's clothing brand or videos or whatever it might be in your particular field and be like, wow, look how amazing that is, and look how well they're doing for themselves. Mm-hmm. Now, I think there's a distinction that we need to make. There's kind of two ways of looking at it. There's look at what they're doing. Oh, I'm so much worse than that. I wish I had that, right? But then there's another way of looking at it where it's like, oh my goodness, look how well that person is doing. I want to be like that person. I'm so inspired by them and I'm so happy for them. And when I flipped my mindset from being the first to the second, I realized that not only did I find myself with more energy and happier with what I was doing, like more good things would just happen to me. Like out of nowhere, somebody cool would just hit me up and be like, yo, can you make this for me? Or just like cool commissions would come out of nowhere. Or people would just be nicer. All because I had a happier and more kind mindset. Like, have you found that at all, or is that just me?
No, 100%. I mean, recently, like, I'm not sure if you saw, I did a runway show. Like, I remember, like, I had this collection planned out. I was kind of lost, but I was just, like, creating, and, like, I like, started getting a better mindset. And then, like, out of nowhere, I just got a call from my friend. He's like, yo, we have a fashion show in a week. You want to come? And I'm like, be a person. Be, like, a brand to, like, for models. And I was like, yeah, like, what? That's so crazy. And it got me back on track. And it's, like, little opportunities, like, 100%. And I feel like that goes back to, like, just, like, how you view things, because like if you're in a negative mindset, that same thing could happen, but you just don't recognize it. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really recognize the opportunity as much. But if you're in a positive mindset and that same call happens, you'll be like, oh, what? That's crazy. Like it's all this positive stuff happening, right? But that's something I realized because when I was like sophomore, junior year, I was in this like not happy phase. I feel like everyone goes to that phase in high school of like just like lost and like existential crisis. So then I realized like the way I got out of it was literally just because the way I was viewing things, and like I was just viewing everything as negative, and I remember like I would go to school, I'd be like, I hate this, why am I here? I mean, I still feel like that way about school, but like what if I like approach school as like I love this. Just convince myself I love this. I love being here. I love all the people around me, you know? It would make school totally, totally better, you know? Just like focusing on the more positive stuff.
Hmm.
If that makes sense.
I really like the way you put that. Like, the same thing, but viewed from two different perspectives, can give us the illusion that something is better or worse.
Yeah.
Like, glass half empty, glass half full. But
exactly
on a deeper level.
And I feel like that goes back to like why like the law of attraction works, because it's like you're attracting. So I'm not like pretend it was like I remember it was like I had I wanted to get to 1,000 followers by a certain day, or by the end of the month or something. And since my mind was on that, like I kept I like like thinking about how to get more followers. I remember I found more opportunities, that seemed like big opportunities for looking for followers. But, like before, I wouldn't think of these opportunities looking for followers,
Yeah.
Like, that's the reason, like I said, that's the reason why I started TikTok. Is because, like, before that, all my homies were like, bro, TikTok's such a great platform. Like, you should do it. And then once I focused on followers, then it was like, they said the exact same things, but I was like, you're right, I'm looking at all this stuff. And then it worked. I reached my goal by the end of the month of getting 1,000 followers.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Law of attraction, dude.
Bro,
that thing just works wonders.
It's crazy. And yeah, it's fresh on my mind because I was talking to the person's factory that I work for, the family friend. I was talking to her, and she runs the business, she's the owner of it. And she was basically telling me, oh yeah, sorry, that's the thing. She's also a gymnast coach, a really, really talented gymnast coach. And she told me how like this crazy story, which I it like gave me chills when I heard it. But basically, like, there was these 8-year-old, or not 8-year-old or something. There was like, I forgot how old they were, but basically they're pretty young, and they were like, it was a team of gymnasts, like people like trying to do gymnast stuff. But basically they showed them a motivational video about like the Olympics. It was basically like showing like the behind the scenes, like what they get to wear and all this stuff. And Sheila, the person that runs the business, she was like, she said she remembered like hearing one of the children, they're like, I can't wait to be there, I can't wait till we get there. And she told me nothing special, like obviously they're good people, they're talented people, but like there's nothing like that made them stand out over all the other 28 kids that were in that room. But her saying that, like, she knew, like, in her mind, she knew she was gonna be there.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, she ended up being an Olympian.
Damn, bro.
Like, she ended up, like, 2 years after, and Sheila saw the whole process. Like, and it's literally just from that mindset of, like, I am this, rather than I want this.
I mean, I have that exact mindset with my podcast. I run a successful podcast.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Why is it successful? Because it does everything I want it to do. And so I'm a successful podcaster. Simple as that.
Definitely.
Like,
there's no definition of success, It's all from a personal basis, a case-to-case basis of what success is.
I mean, what about you then? What would you say your definition of success is? Because it's a tough question. It is a tough question. Success
is reaching my goals, and I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
But if I already feel like I'm, like right now, what I'm doing is like I tell myself like I want, like, I think it was 10,000 followers, but no, I don't tell myself that, but I want 10,000 followers. But I tell myself I have 10,000 followers, and in my mind, I'm already succeeding because I already have that mindset that I have 10,000 followers. Even though it's not on paper, I still have that self, like, fulfilling feeling of success because I convinced myself that I have 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just give me 1 second. Hold on.
Okay.
1 moment.
Sounds good.
Yo, sorry, my sister was just outside this room making noise. My bad.
Oh.
But yeah, just being able to think like, I am already this, and it's just a matter of time till it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that's powerful, man.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that, like saying that you have that, like will make you work harder. Like it'll make you like make better qualities, like 3D stuff. Because if you tell yourself like I'm the best 3D designer or 3D video maker, I'm sorry if I don't know the exact name.
It's fine.
It's something like if you tell yourself you're the best at it, well, you're gonna work your work. You're not gonna make it like just above par. You're gonna make it way above par. You know, you're gonna make it way like better because you want it to be the best because you are the best.
Yeah. I mean, I put a post on my Instagram on my story the other day where it said the only thing stopping me is myself, right? Mm-hmm. And the full journal entry of that, I was thinking about posting it, but then I didn't. The full journal entry of that was brilliant. It was literally, I'd just gone on a walk, right? This is literally like the synopsis of what the journal entry said. It said, I am a successful person. I am incredible. I am going to do all of the things that I've listed in the previous pages. I went on a walk and I realized that everything is in my control. I am a successful person. The only thing stopping me is myself. That was the journal entry.
Really? Like you were gonna post that like as like the caption?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna post that on my story, but I thought.
Bro, but you know what? So like because you need that mindset, right? But then pretend you posted that, like maybe some of the people would have thought you were like arrogant or something. You know, like
maybe they would have, but I think it's easy to look at it as arrogance or being too confident or cocky, but it's not. It's just believing in yourself to the point where you like when we think about what is belief, right? What is faith?
Like, we're gonna start breaking down every single word.
Belief and faith is like you have convinced yourself that it's true, essentially, or it's the thing that you think is the closest to the truth, and that you wholeheartedly think that. Like, I believe I'm incredible. Like, sorry to everybody who doesn't believe that, but I believe.
Bro, as you know, you should feel like that.
I believe that I am successful. Because just like you said, my definition of success is very similar, that I've achieved some of my goals. So I'm successful. So I think people shouldn't look at it as being cocky or overconfident. It's confidence, it's faith, it's belief in oneself to a higher level where you're like, yeah, I am this. I am who I tell myself that I am because I say I am.
Yeah, bro. And that goes along with like that. Like recently, I've stopped comparing myself because of exactly that. Because I believe like I'm this person. And another thing is like realizing that like everyone is human. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's crazy. The reason I was like at first like I was like so like I thought you were gonna say no to like the podcast and stuff like that. Like when I first like obviously it's just negative thoughts, but it's because like Pythia and like Reno Studios, Vital, like all those brands, like when I was first starting off, like I put them on a pedestal. I was like, bro, these guys like are fucking the best creators, they're amazing, you know what I'm saying? Like they run the underground streetwear. And then I realized like after talking to multiple people, it's like, bro, they're just humans, It doesn't make them better than me. It doesn't make them all that stuff. But people still do that because like it's like I don't know, it puts you down. It limits yourself because you put yourself under these people that, are just other people. And that frustrates me, but also like me being in I did that, so I totally understand. I feel like that's just something you have to learn with experience.
I mean, everybody else is just another human being, just like you and me.
Yeah, right? Justin Bieber is just another human, like Drake, Kanye West are all just humans, They
are like just other human beings that are made of the same stuff as us. It's just that they've achieved what they wanted to achieve. And there's nothing stopping, there's nothing stopping us from doing what they've done because they've done it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's literally nothing stopping you except obviously yourself. If you want to fly, well, it's because you're telling yourself you can't fly. Obviously not directly, but if you believe you can fly, you can find a way to fly. You know what I'm saying? Like
you'll find a wingsuit or a helicopter or a hot air balloon, and you will fly. You will be flying. You will be in the air, suspended, flying. No?
Yeah, in fact, you'll get on an airplane, you'll fly.
I'm flying, bro. I'm flying. Yeah, I get what you mean, though. I get what you mean.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I feel like that's like the people like, you know, religion, like the people who are like the religious figures like Buddha, Jesus, all this stuff. They were just human too, I believe, but they just were in touch with themselves, and they put no limit on themselves, and they unlock like parts, abilities of the body that we can't do and we see as impossible, but it's literally just because like we limit ourselves.
And you know what? These have been such a limiting factor, because I think a big distinction between a lot of the people that have come before us who have been enlightened or more in tune with themselves, they didn't have smartphones. Right?
They didn't have Instagram. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, they didn't have Instagram. They didn't have the internet in the same way that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think spending too much time on phones and spending too much time on the internet and basically filling in all these minute little gaps that we have in our lives with something on our phone takes us out of touch from ourselves. Like, you can't be fully conscious of your surroundings and who you are and what you're doing when you have your phone in your pocket. Like, you can't. Because you're constantly going to be checking it. You're going to be thinking, you know, has anybody hit me up? Has anybody, you know, has anybody commented on this post yet? You know, did this person respond to my message or something like that? Like, I think in order to be fully at peace, we have to find a way to get rid of excessive use of the internet, I think.
Oh, 100%. And I'm a full believer that like we're not like the most advanced like civilization. I believe that like, you know, like Mayans, like the people in the areas, Amazon forest, like those people were way more advanced than us. I 100% agree. And they I mean, I think in the scriptures, I don't think they had smartphones, you know. I don't think that was their priority. It was literally like they built technologies, but like their focus was on building and elevating more instead of like building the next iPhone, making the camera better. You know what I'm saying?
Look how things have changed. Look how things have changed, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, before it was about trying to find a way to better oneself spiritually and like reach a higher level of consciousness. And then now it's like, maybe we can make the iPhone more waterproof.
Yeah, maybe we add more length to the side. Make it
exactly.
wider.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Priorities, man.
Yeah, exactly. And like even like the ocean, bro. The ocean is scary. Like the ocean itself. Like we haven't discovered so much of the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much undiscovered, but like it's on our Earth. But you know we don't try to find. I mean, maybe we are finding ways. Honestly, I'm not great with news, so maybe we are finding ways. But like I haven't found any. I feel like there hasn't been any new discoveries around that. So, you know, like just like the things that we have here.
Yeah.
On this earth that we roam, we're not even looking to discover or go down that lower.
Yeah. We don't even know. We didn't forget the ocean, bro. We don't even understand ourselves. Like.
Oh, fact, bro. Facts. Sorry.
Like consciousness. Can and nobody can give you like a solid universal definition of what consciousness is. Because guess what? Nobody knows.
Yeah. And
nobody knows.
Yeah, I've had multiple conversations with my friends talking about consciousness, but it's literally like I don't know. I even after all those conversations, I don't have like a good definition of what consciousness is.
We're so like, complex, man.
Yeah, in this it's like I have no idea. Like there's like we were talking about like I always thought consciousness was like if you can recognize you're conscious, you're conscious. But also, dogs are conscious. Do you think they recognize that they're conscious? You know, it's like, what is... Bro, yeah, I'm getting confused. Whenever I think of consciousness, it mind fucks me.
Like, why do people... What's the difference between a dead person and an alive person? Like, when you actually think about it, what is the difference?
What do you mean?
Like, obviously, a dead person's dead and a live person is alive, right?
Yeah.
But at some point, they go from being alive to being dead. Now, when they are physically dead, sometimes their heart is still pumping, and certain parts of their brain still going, but they're still dead. And why can we not bring them back to life, right? Why is there not like a special thing that we can just be like, okay, here's consciousness, let's shove it back in there, boom, we got the robot going again. Like, we don't understand. We don't get what it is that makes people die. Like, why? Why do they? What is it that leaves them? What is it that doesn't work anymore?
Yeah. That's interesting. I never thought about that. Like, yeah, because we think we're so advanced with our medicine and stuff like that, but like, there's so much we don't know. But then, like, we're not like taught to like think about like the things we don't know, because we're supposed to be taught like we're the best, especially in America,
Yeah, America.
Guys, we're like taught like America's #1, all this stuff, but it's like, or like just like in like medicine, all this stuff, but bro, America sucks, or USA. I mean, it doesn't suck, but it's not perfect.
Have you decided what modules or what thingies you're doing? Have you decided?
Oh yeah, I decided to. I honestly, I have not like you. I wish I could drop out of school, or I could drop out if I wanted to, or just get my associates. But I was like, I might as well just do both. And I was like, it satisfies my parents because they're happy, and then with my free time off school, I get to just grind clothes and I can make it work. So that's yeah. So I'm just taking like 12 credits or something at school, and hopefully it turns out okay. But that's why when you said you dropped out of school, like I respect that, and I'm like, because that's a big leap, because like people see school as like the, you have to go to school and then get a job and then blah blah blah, get promoted in that job and all that stuff. So it's like, for you to break out of that cycle and do what you want, big ups.
Thank you. I mean, firstly, everybody has their own journey, right? Everybody has their own way of making things work for them, and I respect everybody who can recognize that and makes their own choices and figures out what is right for them. Just because some people go to university and do that route doesn't mean it's right for everybody. And just because I dropped out doesn't mean everybody should drop out, Everybody has their place. And the second thing is, I just knew it was right.
Yeah.
I just knew it was the right thing to do. I just had a feeling deep down that this is not going to go anywhere meaningful. And even because I'm not a bad student, right? I got into a good university. I get decent grades. Like, I have got decent grades throughout the whole of my school. It's just that I didn't want to do it anymore. But anyway, enough about dropping out of university. I feel like, what? For some reason, university dropouts always end up talking about being a university dropout.
Well, because it's a big, definitely. Well, it's the big norm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, nowadays, I guess it's not. Cause when I was on the phone with my advisor, she was saying how like admission rates are really low this year.
Really?
It's at PSU, so it's not like it's not like a small school or anything. It's like Portland State University, right? So it's like, I don't know. People are realizing after that COVID year, I feel like a lot of people took a gap year and figured out that they don't want to go to school.
Dude,
you on your gap year, yeah.
I don't understand how people could genuinely enjoy university whilst COVID is happening. Like, online learning is so ass, man.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I know this is going to sound really hypocritical because all of my podcasts have been online, right? But you just can't connect with people properly online.
Oh, 100%.
Especially not a full class of 40 people. Like, that's nonsense.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you're saying. I mean, did you take any class, or you just did a gap year? You haven't taken any?
I went to university for 3 months, so I took a bunch of classes. Yeah.
So like 1 term, right?
Yeah, 1 term.
Okay. And then you just like
took 1 term, and then decided I'm gonna take a gap year, and then did this for like 4 months, and was like, peace, I'm gone. So yeah.
Yeah. Bro, I 100% agree. I've made 1 friend through classes, and I talk to them sometimes, but it's like, bro, And I don't even feel like I learned much even in my classes because, you know, I had Chegg, bro. Like, not to snitch on myself, but like I had Chegg to help me through my like tests and stuff like that, you know.
Wait, what's Chegg?
Oh, Chegg is like, it's like Quizlet, you know, it just has all the answers to everything.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So like I wasn't even like, that's why I was able to run my clothing brand throughout this whole like year, even though I was taking I was a full-time student. It's literally just because like I'd put minimal effort and I'd have so much time for clothes.
Yeah.
Wait, what's up? Yeah. Sorry, that was my mom.
No problem, dude.
But what was it? Yeah, like that's why I'm scared for this year because everything's back to in person.
What do you mean by scared?
Scared is in like I'm scared that I'm gonna not have enough time to work on clothes, and the business is gonna slow down, and I don't know, but I'm scared. But that's just overthinking because I do believe I'm gonna be working on it, but it's just like, you know, there's always those fears of like, you know, will I have enough time or is it just gonna be all
okay? So wait, did you have something more to say or not?
Oh no, sorry, I was gonna let. Yeah.
The thing that I realized, the thing that helped me most when it comes to thinking about time and specifically not having enough time was this. I realized that we all have the same amount of time, right? We all have 24 hours in a day, right?
Facts.
60 minutes in an hour. Yeah. You choose how you spend them.
Yes.
Right? Now, you can discount anywhere between 6 and 9 for sleeping. Okay, fine. What are you doing with the rest of them? Right? There is no such thing as I do not have enough time because everybody has the same amount, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't change. It's just your allocation and your use of time changes. And we have to put priorities in ourselves to be like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And I am going to do this. And once I realized how to break it down so easily and allocate my time to what I want to do, then everything became a whole lot easier. Like,
yeah,
you just have to break it down like it's like little pieces of the puzzle. Like, these are the things that I can't sacrifice, right? Eating, sleeping, going on a daily walk, exercising. I can't sacrifice them. They have to be in my day.
Yes.
Everything else, I'd have to need to make it fit because I have the same amount of time as everybody else, and other people can make it fit. So, I just wanted to share that we all have the same amount of time.
Do you like plan out your days like hour by hour? Like, do you have like a schedule, or do you just have like a rough schedule in your brain?
It depends. It depends on the day. If I have a lot of things to do, I like to write a to-do list down, and I have like tick boxes next to the to-do lists where I'm like, okay, these are the things that I'm going to do. And sometimes I'll do it like schedule it as in like 9:20 I'm waking up and I'm brushing my teeth. 9:25 I'm going to have my breakfast. Like, I'll like be that particular with it. Really? But oftentimes it's difficult to be so particular because things do come up. So I usually do like, these are the things and these are the level of importance that they have, because that makes more sense as opposed to I'm just going to do this, then this, then this, then this, and this. So I'll write down, like, for example, if my goal is like finish the sound design for a video, hop on a call with a client and record and edit a podcast, like I'll have them in the right order and then I'll tick them off when I'm done. And if I don't get them done, then I'll move them on to the next day and I'll, make it important enough accordingly. But yeah, how about you? Do you have like a system that you go with?
Yeah, wait, going back to what you said, no, that's really good. Because like, I think, so you basically have like priority lists, like top priority, and you wake up, you eat, obviously do those normal, like the things that you do, but then you just tackle each of those priorities and then pretend you stop right here and you have this much, you just move it to the next day.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's smart.
I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm perfect. I don't do it every day.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But you have that. At least you have that. You write it down and you have something to go back to.
Yeah.
Because, bro, the way I work is just so spontaneous. It's like, I'm home right now. All right, work on clothes. Because I just have projects, like ideas I have projects lined up I need to work towards. But it's like, I never set due dates for myself, which is the reason why some things take way longer than they should. Like,
Dude.
bro, you know, like I had this drop on Tuesday, right? The reason like the drop was on, I said that drop was on Tuesday. I said that on Friday, right? Bro, I had nothing ready. Like I had the fashion show on Saturday, and then Sunday and Monday were my only days. I had to take all my pictures, edit the pictures. But I just told myself Tuesday because I'm like, bro, I kept delaying it. I delayed it every week, you know? And then like I ended up getting it done and everything released. And for some reason, every time I do that, I forget to set another due date for myself, you know? And then I'm like, all right, next drop is coming out in next few weeks. Next thing you know, it's a month later. I'm like, next drop next week, you know?
Yeah.
So no, I'm gonna definitely apply that because I have a whiteboard in my room, but I just never use it. So
dude, I need a whiteboard. I'm gonna buy a whiteboard. I'm gonna be over the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna be redoing my room. But I say redo. Sorry, when I say redo, I mean like getting rid of 80% of stuff in there because there's so much junk in there. But I'm gonna get a whiteboard. I think I want to get like, you know, them huge like office whiteboards you can get that just have like so much space on them. I think I want one of them, but I'm not sure yet.
Bro, you can go to Home Depot. They have cheap ones. It's literally just a whiteboard board, and it's just like you just like hang that up. But because regular whiteboards are expensive, I figured out because they have like the frame around it and stuff like that, so it makes it more expensive. But this is literally just a piece of whiteboard, you know. But, yeah, that's what I did for mine. Yeah. But yeah, it's good that you're changing your room because that's like the feng shui, you know. That's like you need your room to be like good energy all around you.
Yeah.
And that's something I need to do because like I said, I was cleaning earlier today. Bro, I'm not sure if you see, my shit's a mess. Like,
bruh.
It doesn't look bad, but it looks pretty bad. But I definitely need to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, room is important and whiteboards are important. I mean, if you have it down on paper and it's working for you, bro, just do whatever's working. Because it seems like you're doing well. From what I can see, it seems like you're doing well. You told me about that deal you had.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk. Wait. No, I'm sorry. No, like, yeah, you have your like stuff figured out. So you know, if you were getting your stuff figured out, and I still have stuff to figure out, you know, like we were talking about religion, you know, pull some things, you know, pull that from that and apply it to my life. I'll definitely start doing that. I'm gonna write that down actually. Give me a second.
Go for it, bro. For anybody who's wondering, I have a job, let's say a freelance job that I'm under a non-disclosure agreement for, which is pretty cool. Like I had to like fully sign something, and I can't tell people. I actually don't know what I can tell people.
But, I feel like you just can't tell people who it is, what you're doing, and like all this stuff.
Yeah, so I basically just avoid telling people anything about it. But it's okay because they're coming out of stealth mode now. They could like the project's like being seen more, so eventually I'll be able to show people. It's nothing like my role in it isn't like huge, but it was pretty secretive and like on the
to be able to get a deal where you have to sign an NDA. I feel like that's good in itself.
Dude, I felt like I was like some Mission Impossible type shit, man. I was like, oh, this is serious, you know?
Yeah.
It was cool. It was very cool.
No,
I remember I told like my parents about, because I'm very open with my parents. Like I tell them what I'm working on, you know, and then I told them that I have a new job, and they were like, oh, what is it? And then I was like, well, I can't tell you because I'm under an NDA. And now they just take the piss out of me, like whenever I'm talking, like, okay, can you tell us about that one?
Really? That's so funny. Definitely, bro. Having my parents here is so nice because like even my mom, I'll show my mom a piece or something I make. I'm like, Mom, is this good? And then she'll be like, no, you should do this to it. I'm like, she's not even like a fashion designer, but she's just like having that outside perspective here, and also have someone to share like your accomplishments with. So nice. Like
he's super nice.
Yeah, and like that's why like I love being with my parents. But also like the goal is by the end of this is to be like self-sustained, like have my own house, you know, be able to do this, which I figured out is completely possible. Even at like the size, like I can probably do that right now, or I can do that right now if I wanted to. But also, I like saving money and like just like not having to pay rent. Like to me, I see it as like I can just invest more into my brand. Like bro, like this, I'm not sure if I should share. I mean, I probably can't share this, but like I literally like last week I invested like my whole bank account. I had 100 no, I had $200 in my bank account, checking and saving, because I spent all of that on investment. And but the nice thing is I'm at home, so I don't have to deal with paying bills and stuff like that. I have to pay like $80 a month, but like I knew I could make my money back. But like having that security is so nice, and like it allows me to do scale up.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. Like, firstly, when I realized like I have enough money now to move out, I was like, bruh, like I'm making enough money to like just pay my bills. Like, obviously I can't move into a mansion,
Yeah,
I'd have to, get a pretty small place and make sure I'm like looking after my money and stuff like that. But when I realized like I'm earning money and I can't move out, that was such a weird realization for me. Because the way it works in the UK is you just take loans, you just take student loans, and that's how you pay for the majority of stuff. And then you usually get jobs like coffee places, being a waiter, blah blah blah, supermarkets, and that's how you like help sustain yourself when you're moved out living at a uni accommodation or like with your friends at uni. And like I'm at the point where like I don't need the loan.
Yeah,
it was just such a weird realization where I'm like, that is really cool.
Yeah, it must have been a really good feeling.
Because well, you and I will both have this feeling like where you obviously like making clothes, right?
Yeah.
I obviously like doing my.
Oh, I hate it. I despise it.
Yeah, I don't know why I do this shit, man. But you obviously like it, and so how did it feel when you first made money from making clothes? Like, what was that moment like?
Bro, I mean, you know the feeling like when you first got paid, bro. It was literally like it was more like when I first made that like outside of state sale, someone I didn't know. Because first off, shout out all my friends, because all my friends are the reason why I was able to do this. Because like I would make clothes and then like they would buy it for me, and then they would share it with their friends. So I literally started off like my first drop that I had, all people in the area, and like I was just dropping off everything because I had no out of state orders. Best feeling ever, because then it was like you're making money. Like it was the first time I was making money off of something that's not a job. Like it's just off of clothes, bro. And then it was crazy because like I just realized this recent drop that I had like in this week, I made more than I did all of last year in one drop. And I was like, bro, like that's crazy, And like it didn't really hit, but like it still hasn't really hit me. But like it's like I still think it's like crazy. And like I remember like when I first made, like back in the day, I remember selling something for $30 and being so hyped about it. But now like I'm selling something for like $14. People are willing to pay that. People are satisfied with that. I'm like, bruh, such a good feeling. Yeah. The reason I do, like, not the reason I do this, I do this for myself, but also like I also do it for the people as well. I don't want to count that, but like it was just like I don't even know. I mean, it's speechless, It
is crazy. It is so crazy. Like I've got basically I have a very similar feeling. Like the idea that people can pay me to do what I want to do. Like when did this? Because nobody ever tells you can do that. Nobody ever tells you that. Nobody never tells you two things, right? The first thing is that there's a market for everything, right? I was telling my friend about this today, right? This cream, right? Yeah, this is like some moisturizing cream. Yeah. There are people who will pay $2 for a pot of moisturizing cream. Okay, but guess what? If you started your own moisturizing cream business today, eventually you would be able to find clients that would pay $20 for moisturizing cream. You would be able to find them. In fact, you would be able to find clients who would pay $100 for one pot of moisturizing cream. You will find them because they're there.
Yeah.
And this is what I didn't understand. Like, there are clients for everybody. Like, people will buy everything. Anything that you want. Anything you can conceive that is a product or solves a problem, people will buy it. You just have to find them. And that's so difficult. It's really difficult to find the right people who are interested in your services or your products, but they are there. And that is something I was never taught. I was just taught like, oh, I didn't understand why people bought things, but it's because they want to buy them, and they find them, and they think that this is going to solve their problem. Exactly, the value that this cream, like, the value of a $200 cream, for some people might be that, oh, it's a $200 cream that has all this investment put into it, all these, like, researchers on it, and so I want to have the $200 cream. Like, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So, I just never understood that. And the other thing I didn't understand was this whole thing of, like, being able to make money in so many different ways. Like, there's so many different ways. Like, you're selling clothes, right? Mm-hmm. You're selling socks, right? You're selling hoodies. You're selling t-shirts, right? Now, even within that, you're doing multiple things. Like, I know that you've got, for example, like, you didn't hand sew your socks, right?
No.
Like, you did, like your hoodies and t-shirts are handmade. So even within there's two separate avenues. One of them is handmade garments that are, upcycled, and the other one is somebody else prints them with your design. Like, that's two different revenue streams just in one category. Like, there's so many different ways that people can make money, and I never understood that. I was like, oh, people just have a job, and then their job is how they make money. No, people can just do anything to make money.
They do everything, bro. You can get paid for everything. Like, I could be doing clothes, like handmade clothing. I could be selling some of the vintage garments I get from the bins, some I might not use. I could be, like you said, manufacturing stuff. I could manufacture. I have an embroidery machine. I could be doing the embroidery for my friends. My friend came over and I literally was doing embroidery for him. I didn't make him pay, obviously, but like, I could have made him pay. I could be making designs for people because I make my designs. So like, I could be making designs for people. There's so many different things you can do. And I want to
get the skills.
Yeah, and I want to go back to what you're saying about selling. Like, there's a market for everything, because like, I get DMs from people and they're like, bro, like, I don't know how you do this stuff. Like, I don't know, like, you're so creative. Like, I don't know how you do it. I don't see myself as that. I just make what I like, and that comes off as really creative just because I've been doing it for a while and I've been making my quality better and stuff like that. But like, when you first start off, like, making clothes, like, to people that make clothes, it's like, you make what you like, and if you like how the product turned out, there's 100% another person in the world that likes that same product. You just have to find that person that likes the product. And that's what my followers are, because they like my product. They like what I make, and I just make what I like. If I have an idea, I make it, and I think it's something that people will like, then I'll post it. Yeah. I don't even post half the clothes I make because, like, sometimes, like, the people won't like it. But also, that's just me overthinking. But, like, it's like, it frustrates me when I get DMs like, I don't know how you do the stuff you do. It's like, bro, I feel like me knowing how to do it it's nothing. It is special, but it's like, you can learn what I'm doing,
But you just have to do it. Like,
yeah.
I know it sounds stupid, but this is something that I didn't understand as well. Like, when I was talking to Reno for that first episode of the podcast, which, by the way, oh my god, I recorded on this headset, by the way. Like, this is a gaming potato microphone, right?
Yeah.
And I just didn't understand, like, how can a guy who's my age do what he's doing? And it just comes back to the idea, like, he's human, I'm human. You just have to do it. Like, you just have to find a way to learn how to do it and do it. Like, nobody taught me how to do a podcast. Nobody decided to just hold my hand and be like, here's how you do everything. I went online, I looked at other people's podcasts, I saw how they edited them, I looked at, like, all the different things that you could do, the ways you can do things, and then I just did it, and the more I did it, the better I got, the faster I got. Then, like I said, like, I started with this head, let me just, I'm gonna switch my microphone, okay? I'm gonna switch my microphone.
Okay.
Okay, is this working?
Yeah.
Do you hear the potato?
Yeah, I feel like I'm back. I feel like I'm playing Xbox right now.
Yeah, it's like you expect like Fortnite flipping children to be using this. Yeah. I started a podcast with this. There's no such. Okay, I'm gonna stop using this. Hold on.
Yeah, no, that's such a bad. Yeah.
But the reason I say that is because the gear is never the thing that's limiting you. It's only yourself, and that's why I love that quote. I don't know if anybody else has said that before. The only thing limiting me is myself. The only thing that's stopping me is myself. Like, your gear, the fact that I have this microphone, right, which it costs like $150, right? The fact that I have that doesn't make me a good podcaster, right? I was just as good with this potato mic, right? But it's just that we have to let ourselves do the thing. We are the ones stopping ourselves, not the gear, not anybody else. It's us. And as soon as I realized that, I was like, okay, well, it's just a matter of doing it now. It's just a matter of going out there, learning how to do it, learning how to edit videos, learning how to make 3D stuff, learning how to use Photoshop, learning how to do all these things. And once you just do them, you know how to do them. It's simple as that. All the information is there, free online. Like, I'm telling you, whatever you want to learn, it's right there.
YouTube University, that's where I graduated.
Let's go, baby. YouTube University.
People think sewing is really hard as well. I mean, you don't sew, but do you think sewing is hard? Or, no?
I don't think it's easy. I've done it like once or twice, and I don't think it's like easy.
Yeah, but like, but people think, like, I get like on my TikTok, people are always like, "Yo, it's so hard," all this stuff, and like, it was like, bro, like, I looked up a YouTube video how to sew. Obviously, I was shit at it when I first started, but like, you look up a YouTube video, how to sew. You don't know how to do one of the things in the video on the how to sew. Okay, well then look up how to do the thing in the video. And there's a video for that. Yeah, and then you get better at it. And then there's a video for everything I do. Like, there's always like, you can learn it. It just takes time.
Literally, Reddit, YouTube, even TikTok, Instagram, podcasts, literally, just there's all these resources on the internet where you can just learn to do everything. Everything.
Yeah, and definitely. And that's why, like, I'm not sure, have you seen my TikTok before?
I haven't. No, I've not. I don't really use TikTok very much anymore. So
yeah, no, definitely. Like, that's all I do tutorials on how to do my stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, some people get mad at me. They're like, "Bro, you're giving away too much sauce," or you're something like that, or like you're doing stuff. But like, no, it's literally like, I'm teaching people how to do it so they can do it, and then they evolve. They know how to do it, and then maybe they do something new, and maybe they're inspired to make a tutorial. I learn from it. It's like an ever cycle of like growing. That's why I always hated gatekeeping, because like when I first started, there's like so many problems I have, like manufacturing. The only reason I've gotten into it recently is because I realized it's not as hard as people make it out to be. Like, it just like you just have to do it, you know.
You just have to do it.
Yeah, but people gatekeep, like, they're like, bro, like finding manufacturers. Like, I showed a tutorial literally just telling them who my manufacturer was for my necklaces, like this one, and my rings, this one. I'm not sure if you've seen this before, but yeah. Like, I show my manufacturer because it's like, I know, like, it's just my idea. Like, I'm not, like, I feel like it's a little bit self-conscious. Like, people who gatekeep are self-conscious because they're scared people are going to get better at what they're doing.
That's so sad. Like,
yeah. Like, it's sad because, you know, like, we're all small people just trying to make it, you know, like, why not just try to help everyone so they can all do this, you know?
Exactly. Like, to be honest, bro, if I, in my life at some point, inspire somebody to take a similar path to me, and I help them on that path, and they get to a point where they can sustain their living and, you know, fulfill themselves creatively and are on a great journey, having a good life, and that stems from my help, in what way? Like, that's amazing. Like, I could not think of a better feeling than that. Because you have literally revolutionized and changed somebody's life for the better.
Yeah.
And it's not like, yo, it's different to like donating money to like a charity like in Africa, because you're not connected to those people. But if like I could do that for somebody, that's way better than being like, oh, I'm not going to tell you how to do something because you might get better than me. Like, and you might be able to do what I can do. 100%. So what if they can, what if they have the capabilities to do what you can do? Are you that insecure that you think that, oh, as soon as somebody learns how to do the skill that they have, they're going to be able to overtake you and, you know, do that? Like, that's not going to happen. Like, if somebody I know wants to know how I make my videos or whatever, how to run a podcast, anything, I would be down. If you're listening to this right now and you want to learn how to do anything I can do, right? Even if you don't know me and you've never messaged me, I would be down to walk you through anything and just tell you this is how I did it and give you like a massive helping hand, because that's how I learn. Like, most of it was just from tutorials and looking online. But other bits have been like, I had a couple of friends who were like, okay, I just asked them like, how can I do this? Can you help me to learn how to do this? And that's how I've got here. So I just don't understand it.
No,
kindness goes back to kindness. Everything goes back to kindness, man.
Everything goes back to kindness, and just like you doing that, like. And another thing, like, I feel like people are insecure is because people are scared of changing or, like, evolving. Because, like, the things that I teach on my TikTok, like, it's because I know it and I learned it and I feel comfortable, like, sharing it. But that's not all I do, Like, I'm going to do something new and then share it again, Like, I'm going to move on from that. So if people use that, like, I'm not insecure because, like, if, like, people use my tutorials, well, I'm doing something different, I'm giving you the stuff that I've learned and I feel comfortable sharing. But, like, I'm trying to master something new right now,
That's the trick. That's the trick, dude. Be like, share something that you know, and be so confident in yourself and your ability to learn more that people will never be able to catch up with you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because you're already on to the next thing. You're already learning or teaching how to do the next thing. Like, because when you think about it, right, just because you showed me a sewing video, a sewing tutorial on how to do something, like, it's going to take me time in order to get to the point where I'm as good as you. Right? Maybe a few months, maybe a few years, whatever it might be, whatever the skill might be, right? And by then, where have you gone? You've gone like flying high in the sky, like doing something completely different,
Definitely.
So people, whatever skill you have, sharing it is never a detriment to you because people will never be as good as you because as long as you're always moving forward. And maybe that's the limiting factor. Maybe people are like, oh, I know how to do this and I only know how to do this.
Yeah. No, 100%. That's why people get insecure, because then if another person gets good at it and they only know how to do that, then it's like, well, they're as good as me now and they're making, same quality stuff. So it's like, and it's not necessarily like keeping people under me, like, keep trying to, like, no. It's like, I will teach someone something, and if they exceed me at it, it's like, good for them. I just, like, hopefully they reciprocate the same energy. If they're better at something and I ask for a question, hopefully they try and teach me, and that's just growth, and that's something I learned from wait, sorry, what were you saying?
Like, how good of a teacher must you be if your student has got better than you? Like, you must be amazing.
Yeah. Or they're just a really hard worker and they're outworking you, and then you need to work harder, Yeah, that's another thing. But that's what was it? Okay, I know Ian Connor's a controversial subject with, like, everything, but there is what I did learn from him, because I watched a video about him, and it was like all his successors, like all the people that he's brought up, have, like, surpassed him. And the reason he does that is because, like, then they go back to, if they pretend it's like he teaches them how, like, if you teach someone how to get followers or something and they pass you in followers, like, well, you taught them and they know that, so then they'll show you what they did that's outside of what you taught them, and then you grow from that, and you get on the same level as them. It's a constant, like, level of, like, the person you're teaching, you want them to succeed you, so they bring you up with them, and then maybe you get higher, and then you bring up, and next thing you know, it's just a constant level of growth, and then all that. Right, I'm stretching. I'm tired.
It's just, keeps on going upwards.
No, it keeps going upwards. And it's just, like, constant growth, and that's how it should be. But, bro, there's so, like, even as, like, a small brand right now, and I've heard about other small brands, there's so much like scamming, so much, like, turning your back on people that happens, even in, like, accounts that have, like, 10K followers, like, they scam other people. They scam, like, designers that maybe designed something for them, and it's crazy to me because I don't know how they do, like, why would you do that, But it's just because they're insecure. It all goes back to that. And it's just, it's because they were scared about, I feel like it's because they were scared about something, and then they put out bad energy, and then the karma, bad energy comes back.
Yeah. I like that way of thinking about karma. The whole, like, it's not necessarily physical, as in, like, I think you said it before. When you punch somebody, you're not going to get punched, but it's more of a metaphysical. You will receive what you. Sorry, let me try again. You will receive what you give out.
Yeah. And that's like intentions too. Like if you go in with intentions to like do something bad to someone, like you might have just said something mean to them to put them down, you know. Well, then though, like that bad intention, you know, that karma, because that's karma, like it will come back to you.
Yeah.
Some form. Yeah, but yeah, that's the gist of it. Okay, do you want to wrap things up now?
Yeah,
I got sorry, I just realized.
No worries, man. I've got a couple of questions that I want to ask you before we can finish things over. And yeah, so first thing, what do you think it is that separates you from everyone else?
I want the way I maneuver. I don't necessarily do stuff for. I don't necessarily work for money. I don't work for money. I work for personal growth. I work to grow as a human, you know, and learn. Because that's the whole point of life, in my opinion, is to learn as much as you can and to like reach your goals over and over again. Because goals change, you know. Like first it was like learning how to sew. That was my goal. And now I know how to do it. And now I'm moving on to stuff within sewing. I'm learning how to do pattern making. And then I use my sewing skills to make those patterns into real things. You know what pattern making is, right? Like,
I don't think so, no.
I can show you. It's like the patterns to make a hoodie. This is like, here, I have this right next to me. So this is like the front of a hoodie.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm learning how to do now. You know, it's just like it's just learning how to do new things, in my opinion. That's what separates me. I feel like I want to learn how to do something rather than have someone do it for me. Unless I don't know how, unless I have an idea and I don't want to learn that because I'm working on something else, and then I have someone else do it for me.
Yeah, and there will be a point. There will be a point when you're even bigger, when that's gonna have to happen. Like you're gonna have to employ people to do what you can't do just because it's not in your allocation of time anymore. So yeah. Be ready for that, dude. It's on its way.
100%. I mean, that's how it is with sewing. Is like I know at some point I'm not gonna be sewing as much because I'm gonna have other people sewing stuff for me because I'm gonna just be working on something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. That's the one thing. I get uncomfortable. I get comfortable with the uncomfortable always. That's my saying. You know what I'm saying? Like getting uncomfortable is like trying something new. Like for example, when I first started sewing, I was uncomfortable sewing. I wasn't comfortable doing it, but now I'm comfortable with it. Well, now I have to get uncomfortable again, you know? Now I'm doing pattern making. I don't know how to do it. It's totally out of my league, but it's like, it's uncomfortable doing it because I don't feel confident, but I'm going to get comfortable with that, get good at that, and then keep getting uncomfortable. And then you accumulate all these skills, and then you can combine them, and then that's how you make something even keep making cooler stuff.
Yeah. I like that. Next question would be... This is a new question, actually. I've not asked anybody this one. Why do you get out of bed in the morning?
Why do I get out of my bedroom?
Why do you get out of bed in the morning?
In the morning. I get out of bed in the morning because I have shit to do. No, I'm just kidding. It's because because I want to, because I want to do other stuff. I don't want to sin, but it goes back. Like, when you're in your bed, you're comfortable. I want to get out of my bed so I can be uncomfortable and then get comfortable with that, I guess. But it's like, I get out of my bed because I like working. I like achieving goals, and you have to get out of bed to achieve your goals.
I like that. What would be some advice for your younger self?
My younger self? Being yourself. I remember I was always like, I remember I used to view like standards, like even in high school I used to be like, these people are cooler than me, stuff like that, and then like I'll try to form myself around being cool sometimes, but not all the time, but being myself and voicing my opinion, I feel like that's the thing. But honestly, I don't think I should tell my younger self that, because my younger self made me to who I am today. All the experiences I went through, you know, it made me to who I am. So why, I guess I'd let my younger self be, because he ended up here. You know, he ended up on the podcast, bro. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I see myself just like being me. I can't tell you where you asked me 10 years ago where I saw myself. I had a whole different goal. So I take everything like month by month, you know. I don't really have a 10-year goal, which I'm not sure if it's bad, but I just know I see myself being happy. That's what it is. I see myself being happy in 10 years.
Being happy. I like that. So you have had a lot of success. You know, you've even said yourself it's been tough. You know, you've been hand making garments and finding all these cool pieces and developing yourself as a brand and as a human being, which is very successful, and you've achieved your goals. How much of that success would you put down to chance, and how much of that success would you say is down to your hard work?
Bro, I would say like 70% hard work, 30% chance, because chance is being like, you know, starting off, you know, I had such good friends around me that like that's chance, because they're the people that like, that's the reason why I was able to continue when I was small, because they would support me, they would have the you know, they would support me, let me make money off this so I could keep growing, you know. So that's chance in my opinion. Hard work, probably like 80-20, because like hard work is like I grinded, bro, like to growth. Like I saw that TikTok needed to be doing, I would study TikTok and see what did well. I watched hella YouTube videos on like the algorithm on Instagram, everything. Like I that's hard work in my opinion. So like I believe like a lot of it's hard work, and then I see like the success. So it's like 80%. A lot of it's hard work, but there is a lot of luck involved in it as well.
And the final question would be, if everyone in the world was listening to this podcast right now, what would be your one message for them?
That's I never thought about that. If everyone in the world is watching this podcast right now, be kind, live in the moment. Hella cliche shit, but like all the cliche stuff is cliche for a reason, you know? So be kind to everyone. Just love. Just learn to love and be happy. You know, because that's the one thing through all my experience with the hate and like sadness, it's like you just need to be happy. You know, you just need to learn, like, because it's all, in the end, it's all you. And you want to, when I'm on my deathbed, I want to look back on my life and be like, I lived a happy life. So being happy.
Being happy. I love that, dude. I love that so much. If people want to find your work, find your pieces, you know, find your social media, where can they go?
Youngchickenpox, not it's spelled regularly, because people, when they say young, they think it's like YUNG for something. I have no idea why, but Youngchickenpox, Instagram, TikTok. That's basically it. I need to expand more. Next time I'm gonna be on this podcast and be like Reddit, Discord.
Yeah, I love that. What I should have asked you this a long time ago, actually. What is Youngchickenpox like? Where did that name even come from?
Bro, I've tried to think of that myself. I don't know where that came from. So you know what? I can break it down a little bit. I was a ass pizza stan. Like, ass pizza was like, I remember watching a bunch of, you know who ass pizza is, right? Yeah, like watching hell of his videos and like being like, nothing matters. So it was like he made a name for ass pizza, bro. Like, and that was what was holding me back at the time. I wanted to start a brand, but I didn't know what the name of it. So one day in my bed, I just wrote Youngchickenpox. There's no meaning behind it, no nothing. There's meaning behind Nevere Evern, but like Youngchickenpox, no, not really anything meaning. It's just an alias I go by. And that's why when I met Ass Pizza, like, bro, it was crazy. Just meeting your idol, you know, like that was crazy. So that's the name behind that. How about you? What's the name behind your name?
So my real name is Sabi Mahmood, which is spelled SABIHMAHMOOD. But nobody can say it, nobody can spell it, nobody knows what the hell's going on. So I can see from your face, you're like, what the hell just happened? I'm just kidding. Yeah, exactly. So
Sabi Mahmood.
Yeah, Sabi Mahmood. But the problem is, people can't spell it. So like, if I walked up to like you on the street and said, you know, oh, here's how you found my stuff, just type in Sabi Mahmood on YouTube, you're gonna be like, oh shit, I have no idea where to find that, right? So then I was like, okay, I need to figure out a way that people can find me, people can, you know, it's something memorable, something that is something that is usable, you know? And then one of my friends, I don't know when it happened, just started calling me Sabdog. And I was just like, you know what? For now, because I don't want Sabdog to be my name forever. But for now, Sabdog will do because it's easy enough to remember. People can just shorten it to Sab. I'm fine with Sab. But it's much easier than Sabi Mahmood because I've had the craziest pronunciations and spellings that I just knew that I had to do something because otherwise people ain't gonna be able to find me anywhere.
Smart.
Yeah. Definitely. Awesome, bro. Well, it's been an honor. It's been great. It's been wonderful to have you on the show. And you know, maybe in a year's time, once you're flying high, you know, I don't know if I'm able to get a hold of you. I might have to go through some assistance or something like that.
Bro, you know it, bro. You always can get a hold of me, bro. You're on my on Instagram. You're on the primary, so you can. So I always know. But,
awesome, dude.
Bro, we'll stay in contact. Hey, we gotta work together on a video maybe at some point.
I don't know, man. Maybe let's do it. Let's do it, man.
If I have an idea, I'll definitely hit you up. But I appreciate you being on this podcast. When do you think it's gonna be up? I'm just wondering.
Within a week. Yeah, within a week. I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen, bro. Just for you.
Bro, I'm so excited. But I'm gonna repost this show that I'm gonna be like from it and like, bro. This has been amazing.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll speak to you soon, man.
Yes, 100%, bro. I'll catch you. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode of The Bit Between. Make sure to go check out Youngchickenpox on Instagram, and whilst you're there, might as well follow me too, innit? At the Sabdog, at THESABDOG. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Maybe leave a comment, do the liking, good things, all that, subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.